Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and today I thought I would start kind of a little new series because people are always asking me why they get hurt, why their joints hurt, or they have parts of their body that hurt, but again, generally joints as a result of weight training. And if you do experience any sort of pain from your weight training in your joints or connective tissue, your training is wrong. There's an issue with your training programming, something you're doing, maybe you're messing up and wearing knee sleeves or knee wraps when you shouldn't. There is a problem causing that. That's not normal. Heavy weight training, even brutally heavy weight training performed correctly, should strengthen your joints. It should never injure them. So today I'm going to cover the shoulder joints and the most common causes of shoulder joint problems. Now, usually the bench press is to blame, but there are other culprits oftentimes. Number one on the list, though, with the bench press is going to be people benching too high on their chest. If you bench and the bar is anywhere above the nipple line, when you touch the chest, or for those of you who don't touch the chest, that's part of your problem also. Stopping short of the chest can cause additional flaring and stress on the shoulder joints, particularly because you're using too heavy of a weight and then going into a bad form to try to slow it down to keep from touching through the full range of motion. So partial reps, touching too high on the chest, are the number one culprits. Number two is going to be benching excessively wide, which again, a lot of guys try to do so that they can cut the range of motion down, but you're not necessarily getting bigger and stronger by doing that. That can put, depending upon your anatomy, additional stress on your shoulder joints. It can damage them over time. The other bench press related issue is going to be too weak of rear delts. If you don't have strong rear delts and you're not balanced and your anterior deltoid is too strong versus your posterior deltoid, that can cause damage to your shoulder joints over time just from the uneven loading on bench presses and other things. So you need to make sure you're as strong at pulling and particularly work on the rear delts as you are at pressing if you want to reduce your chance of hurting your shoulders. Now, the other big thing that people do has to do with the way that they rotate their shoulders on various shoulder exercises. When people do side laterals of any type, a lot of bodybuilders tell people, oh, turn your pinky up like a teacup to pour it out so that the pinky goes up. This is why, again, people like Bill Starr always said most professional bodybuilders are not qualified to coach a high school football team in the weight room. They have no knowledge of anatomy or actual training. Remember, they're all genetics and drugs. A lot of them don't know even the most basic fundamental concepts of weight training. They ride on their genetics and massive drug use. They'll tell you things like turn your pinky up so that you can get a deeper contraction in the side head of the delt. What you get when you turn the pinky up is a rotation on the shoulder that causes damage over time that will permanently damage your shoulder and cause you to need surgery on it. So whenever you do any sort of side lateral raise, you should go the other direction and try to keep your thumb up a little bit. And sometimes even going all the way up like this, but keeping your thumb up. Don't let it turn this way, and never ever let your pinky go up the way that you're told. And for a lot of people, depending upon your anatomy and shoulder structure, again, doing upright rows, particularly going too high with them, can produce the exact same effect. So be very careful of upright rows. Do not turn your pinky up. Make sure you bench low on the chest. Remember that benching low on the chest also includes the dumbbells. Look at where your hand line is at the bottom. And if you're way up here, you've got a problem when you're coming down, whether it's an incline, flat, decline. Make sure that those come down low also. And one of the best ways to make sure that they come low enough is to not have your pinkies flared out on any sort of dumbbell press, is to turn them in a bit, either to 45 degrees or in some cases like you see Big J do, who's had to have shoulder surgeries, 90 degrees all the way in. He does a full hammer position or a pronated grip. So those are the sort of things that are going to help prevent you from having shoulder injuries, having pain in your shoulders from training. So take that under advisement. Just keep in mind, you'll see a lot of YouTubers out there who are a lot younger. They don't know anatomy and physiology, who give great advice on some things, but a lot of their training styles will injure them over the years. And maybe the only reason that they haven't been injured yet is because they're fairly young, might be using drugs that help with lubricating their joints and strengthening connective tissue. And a lot of you, if you take their advice 10 years down the road, are going to need a shoulder surgery. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time. But let me give you guys a bicep shot before I go. Oh, Mount Bicepius.